What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stimulus check update. This is going to be your second stimulus check update video. This is actually your second video for today, September 5th. Hopefully you're having a wonderful weekend. Now, in this video, I am only going to address that second stimulus check. Also, I'm going to address how some people may receive a retroactive stimulus check. So you want to stick around for that. I will address that later on in this video. First off, yesterday, and I did a video, a more detailed outline of everything regarding stimulus. I did that this morning. I will link to that video down in the description box below, so make sure you go and check that out. But yesterday, President Trump said in the afternoon that the government has $300 billion sitting in an account that they don't need. After I addressed this yesterday and again this morning, many people sent me messages and also wrote comments here on YouTube asking, can the president issue an executive order and send out that money? And based on what President Trump said yesterday, he said, I guess I can't do that. That he would rather have Congress sign off on this. But after doing a lot of research this morning and even yesterday, I wanted to confirm that he cannot do it on his own. And as of right now, based on everything that I'm reading, based on all my research, I can tell you that President Trump technically does have the power to issue an executive order and send stimulus checks to the American people. And he can go right around Congress. He does not need their approval. And I say this because this money that is sitting aside that they're not using, from multiple reports, many people are predicting this money is from the Main Street Lending Program. The Main Street Lending Program has billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars in an account, more than 300 billion, and they are not using it because the Main Street Lending Program, businesses don't like it and banks absolutely hate this program, so they're not issuing the money. And with that said, many people also asked, well, will President Trump actually send out stimulus checks without Congress? And here's my take on this. This is just my take. I've read multiple reports, read multiple articles from large media outlets, smaller media companies, and even watched some other YouTubers. And mainly the thing that we are getting, the conclusive agreement is, yes, President Trump, if he can, if it's within his right, and even if it's very close, President Trump will issue a second stimulus check to the American people without Congress's approval. Because if he can do that, technically do that, and as of right now, based on the reports that I've been reading, is it's being looked into. The White House is looking into it to see if he can do this without any legal action. And as of right now, it is yes, he can. But President Trump, this close to election, he wants to make sure that is within his power. He's not overstepping. He's not going around Congress, and there's going to be a legal battle at the end of this. He wants to give the American people a stimulus check. He's going to do whatever he can to do that. So for me personally, I believe he will do this towards the end, I'd say the middle of October. I say the middle of October because that means that the Senate, Congress, the Senate, and the House have not passed a bill, have not agreed on anything, and it's already into October. If that's the case, just like he did with the eviction extension, just like he did with the unemployment enhancement, he will do something if Congress doesn't act, doesn't do their job. He's already said this, he'll say it again, and I guarantee he will issue a check if it's within his power and Congress doesn't act. So, what you can expect, the election is November 3rd. What you can expect, the money will be in the majority of the Americans' bank accounts before the end of October. Because I can tell you right now, this is really good for an election, and this will actually boost President Trump's numbers. Now, how would this affect Congress? First off, Democrats will be up in arms. Democrats will fight this because this is good for an election. They don't want President Trump to be reelected. They want Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. That's who Democrats want. Okay, that's who they picked. So they don't want President Trump to win. So they'll do whatever they can to make sure he doesn't win. If he does go and pass a second stimulus check without Congress, I guarantee you, they're going to make this a legal battle. They will do whatever they can to do more of a smear campaign saying he overstepped. Is this the guy you want running your country? They're going to do everything they can. And this isn't just Democrats, right? If this was switched and a Democrat was holding office and Republicans were trying to regain the office, what's going to happen is Republicans would do the exact same thing. So it doesn't matter who's in office and who's fighting. It would happen either way. So, like I said, this is most likely from the Main Street Lending Program. This again, businesses hate it. Banks don't like it. Nobody's taking the money. Based on all my research, the amount of money needed to do a second stimulus check is roughly $225 billion. However, they always ask for more. Now, the reason why I say this is because this could mean either stimulus checks are larger, which means instead of $1,200 stimulus checks, you get maybe $1,300 to $1,400, $100, $200 boost. Instead of $500 stimulus checks for a dependent, you might get $600, $700. Or instead of just the people that make under, the $75,000 or $150,000, if you're a couple, they might increase it to a little bit more. Or what they could do, because Democrats want $1,200 for filers and their spouse and $1,200 for all dependents. Republicans want $1,200 for this filer and their spouse, $500 for all dependents no matter your age. I bring this up because in the HEROES Act, it specifies that any dependent that did not get a second or a stimulus check the first time, instead of just getting a second stimulus check, which would actually be their first, they will get the second stimulus check issued. They'll get the first stimulus check issued. Okay? And so they're going to get a retroactive pay, a retroactive stimulus check. That's the beautiful thing about this is, being that there's more money than what is actually needed, Congress, or President Trump, I guess, could do this as well. I think this would be a little bit more difficult, but he could probably do it. He could issue stimulus checks to people that didn't get one the first time. And that would be an incredible gesture, it'd be an incredible move on the part of Republicans leading up to the election. Now, here's a question I received a handful of times from many people was, why did President Trump wait so long to let the American people know there is money in an account and that this is good news, that he could potentially do something with this? Well, the reason why I believe, and after reading a few other articles, I believe, my theory on this is probably right, is President Trump probably just learned that this Main Street Lending Program is not doing what it was set out to do. Businesses aren't requesting the money, and banks are not lending the money. So because of that, the money is still sitting there. He probably just learned this within this past week. Also, he probably waited till now. Again, this is a political game. He probably waited because this is good for an election. This is going to increase his popularity leading up to the election. And if he can get these stimulus checks passed, it's going to look really good on a Republican's part. Okay, for a Republican, this is going to be great. For Democrats, this doesn't look so good. Now, the other reason why I believe that I haven't read this anywhere, but the reason why I believe he issued this statement yesterday is because we are coming up to Labor Day weekend. Well, technically today is Labor Day weekend. Monday is Labor Day. So he knew if he said something yesterday that on Monday it's a holiday, nobody's there. Tuesday the Senate comes back to Capitol Hill. Hopefully they start negotiating, and now he's starting to put together these little backroom talks. That okay, if Congress, Nancy Pelosi, you don't want to do your job, you want to just go and get your hair done or whatever, fine. I will do my job and I will make sure the American people have the relief and financial aid that they really deserve. Another question that I got that I want to address is, how will this money ultimately affect the upcoming stimulus negotiations? Or will it? And honestly, in my opinion, it's going to affect it quite a bit. First off, yes, it's going to affect this because now more people know about the money than before. My guess is even senators, even governors, okay, our congressmen and women didn't know that the government had this amount of money at their disposal as of right now. My guess is nobody knew this because nobody was, talking about it. Nobody was doing their research on this program, on this money. Everyone thought, oh, the money's being spent. All right, great. Everyone's trying to do their part, get the economy back up to where it should be. But that's not necessarily what's happening. So when President Trump said this, my guess is it really opened up the eyes to many people, myself included. And so now I'm going to be looking at this, the Main Street Lending Program, a little bit more. I do a little bit of research here and there because it does affect some companies that I invest in and other things like that. But that's just me, okay? I'm going to start doing a little bit more because obviously this went right past me. Another reason why I believe this will ultimately affect the upcoming stimulus negotiations is because this $300 billion technically does not need to be issued. It's already been written. The check has been written. Okay, it is at whatever bank the Main Street Lending Program keeps their money, and that money, all that has to happen is it needs to be moved. Okay, what you need to understand is Congress is the only party, only outlet, okay, only piece of government that can actually issue money. Okay, they're the only ones that can spend. However, President Trump, he can create an executive order, issue an executive order to not spend money, okay, because it's already been spent. He can allocate that money where he sees fit, which is essentially what he's doing. The money's there, it's already been written, he's not spending it, it's already been spent. He can change what it goes to. That's something that's within his power. So here's what you need to know moving forward. This talk, this interview that President Trump did on Friday, this is going to be big. This is going to change the outcome of the stimulus talks. Nancy Pelosi, she's already in hot water because of her whole hair incident. However, the Senate, they have already been struggling because they're not combined, they're not cohesive, they're not a unit. They're all fighting over different things. Okay? President Trump, obviously he's trying to become president again, be reelected. They all have stuff they're working on. However, we are coming down to crunch time. People are losing their homes. People have already been evicted. Even before the CDC issued their eviction ban, people were already evicted. There's already a homelessness crisis going on. You may not hear about it because everyone's like, oh, we have an eviction ban extension. Well, yes, we do now. What about the people that were already evicted? They can't go back into their apartment, can't go back into their home. They're homeless, right? So what I want you to understand is there will be big things coming up. I don't know if tomorrow there'll be anything. If there is, I'll keep you updated on that. I will do a video tomorrow to address more rental assistance, more food assistance. There is another thing about hazard pay I want to talk to you guys about, so I'll be talking to you about that tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you go ahead, hit that like button on today's video, and make sure you subscribe. Click that red button down below so that you subscribe to this YouTube channel so you know everything about stimulus as soon as it becomes available. So again, thank you guys for watching. Come back for tomorrow's video, and like always, thanks for watching. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys on the next one.